So guys, today we're going to visit the Qumran National Park where the Dead Sea Scrolls are located. This is located at the West Bank in Palestine, 1.5 kilometers northwest of the Dead Sea. Why is this place important? It is supposed to be the greatest archaeological find of the 20th century. Cheers! Around 1946 to 1947, three Bedouin boys were walking around the caves around here, and one of them threw a stone into a cave and heard the sound of broken pottery. When they explored the cave, they found 10 clay jars containing 7 scrolls. And these scrolls were found to contain the oldest surviving manuscript book of the Bible. Previously, the oldest surviving book of the Bible was 10th century AD. The scrolls here were dated back to the 1st to 2nd century BCE, making it 1,000 years older. Over the next few years, 11 caves were discovered containing more than 900 manuscripts, which have now been preserved and under study. The area where the Dead Sea Scrolls were found is now a National Heritage Center and is preserved as a museum for visitors. And now we are entering the visitor center here. After entering the visitor center and buying your entrance ticket, you are then treated to a video show which explains about the life of the Essenes, the secret Jewish sect which actually wrote these Dead Sea Scrolls. So guys, if you look at a map of the ancient city of Qumran, this is the visitor center where we've parked our bus in. We head towards the visitor center. There's a small video show which tells the history of the place. And then you walk through, you can see the remains of the archaeological site, the ruins of the ancient city of Qumran. And from here you can look at the view of the caves listed here, the mountains of Qumran, and caves where the Dead Sea Scrolls were found. Caves 1 to 3, 11, 6, 4 to 5, 7 to 10. And the last cave, cave 12, was discovered in the year 2017. Cheers! This is an aerial view of Qumran National Park. You can see the buses parked at the visitor center and the ruins of the Quranic city here. And then in the background you can see the hills and mountains and the caves where the scrolls were found. 40% of the scrolls are copies of texts from Hebrew scriptures. The Great Isaiah scroll was found in Cave 1. This contains all complete 60 chapters of the book of Isaiah. This book of Isaiah was 1,000 years older than the earliest known version held, which was dated 10th century AD and was accurate in perfect detail to the current one. Another 30% of the texts are apocryphal, meaning they are from events occurring around the Second Temple period but not accepted into the Bible. An example of this was the Habakkuk commentary, an account of the events from the book of Habakkuk relating to the Second Temple period. And the remainder, around 30%, are texts relating to the rules and beliefs of a particular group or sect of Jews. An example of the scroll found in Cave 1 was the community rule. It was an account of the rules and regulations of the lives of a Jewish sect. The 4 other scrolls discovered in Cave 1 relate to Cave, a second version of the book of Isaiah written in Masoretic style. Masoretic refers to traditional Hebrew text of the Jewish Bible, accurate to every word and spelling. The other 3 scrolls were the War Scroll, which describes a war to be followed by Judgment Day, the Thanksgiving Scroll containing 40 Psalms of Thanksgiving, and the Genesis Apocryphon, written in Aramaic in a narrative style and expanding on the Genesis story. This picture shows a suggested reconstruction of the Quran city during the Second Temple period. The current visitor center is actually the entrance to the city. There were at least 7 ritual baths or mikvehs found throughout the city. An aqueduct, which is an artificial channel for channeling water into the city. The cisterns, a tank for storing water. The effectory, a room for communal meals for the religious group. The kiln, a furnace for cooking or burning pottery. The kitchen, where food was cooked, the tower, a lookout point, and the scribe's room, where I suppose the scrolls were written. As mentioned earlier, members of this sect were very strict in their observance of ritual purity. They maintained 7 ritual baths or mikvehs, located mostly around the vicinity of the effectory. After the video briefing, you're shown an example of the clay pot which contained the Dead Sea Scrolls. Then you walk to a replica of the ritual bath area. Purification by ritual baths were very important in their way of life. You then get to see some kitchenware and pottery retrieved from the excavation area before heading out to see the ruins proper. Now, these Dead Sea Scrolls were supposed to have been written by the Essenes, a mysterious Jewish sect who moved here during the 1st to 2nd century BCE and lived here until the 68th century AD, when the Romans destroyed the Jewish temple. They also killed all these Essenes. They are a very strict Jewish sect. They avoid cities. They numbered around 200 Jews staying around here. They took the Jewish laws seriously, and they were very much into worship and rituals. They gave up all worldly possessions. There was an initiation period of 2 to 3 years before you were accepted into this sect, and prayers and communal meals were important, including water rituals and purification. Mainly they were all males and practiced celibacy. And it was these Essenes, this Jewish sect, which actually built this Qumran city and lived here, writing the Dead Sea Scrolls during their time here. And these ruins, after being excavated, show the different rooms and chambers. They even have these ritual baths still preserved here for posterity. So guys, on the left here you can see a remnant of the ritual bath, steps going down into the water for purification purposes. On the left here you can see the water system used for storing water, which were channeled by aqueducts to their ritual baths. According to our guide, this was a wheat crusher used to crush wheat in order to make bread. So you can see here it was quite a large city, and it was also said that John the Baptist was also one of the Essenes. He lived here for a while before moving on towards the Jordan River and started baptizing people, including Jesus. So various chambers were seen here under various stages of excavation, and there you can see another ritual bath over here. Looks like water purification and ritual baths are very important in their communal living. From the Qumran National Park, you can get a nice view of the Dead Sea, which is just 1.5 kilometers away from this area. Remember, I said 30% of the scrolls discovered here were sectarian in nature, describing the Jewish way of life of a sect. Where this is one example, the community rule scroll, which describes the way of life of the community and its religious beliefs, probably of the Essenes, displayed here at the visitor center. So guys, I hope you enjoyed my sharing with you one of the greatest archaeological finds of the 20th century. Cheers till the next video.